In the darkness of night, when the stars watched over the secrets of time, a child was born in a small village of France called Saint Remy. His name was Michel de Nostradamus. It was the age when Europe was wrapped in plague and war, and the air was heavy with fear. People looked to the sky, searching for signs of destiny. They bowed before the doors of the church and clutched the amulets of fate. From his childhood, Nostradamus showed a strange brilliance in the knowledge of stars, medicine, and the movement of the heavens. When the Black Plague swept through France, he became known as a healer. Yet deep within his heart, something mysterious was growing. He would gaze upon the blue curtain of the night sky and see patterns that no other could see. His eyes seemed to pierce through the wall of time. One night, he saw in the dance of stars a vision that shook his soul. He whispered to the wind, "Empires shall fall, crowns shall be buried in dust, and history shall taste its own ruin." Then he began to write his dreams and visions in verses, the quatrains, each one holding prophecies, unclear, yet filled with truth and shadow. Within them were lines that would later echo through the downfall of great powers. It is said he foresaw the rise and fall of Napoleon Bonaparte, a young general rising from the soil of France who would trample Europe beneath his feet. In his writings, Nostradamus spoke of a man born from humble land who would drown his people in a sea of blood. And it came to pass. Napoleon built an empire of iron and flame, but his pride, his hunger, his wars consumed him and buried him in the ashes he had created. Time turned its wheel again, and centuries later another shadow rose over Europe, the shadow of Adolf Hitler, a soldier, an artist, a man possessed. In one of Nostradamus's verses he wrote, "From the east shall rise one whose name is close to Hister. He shall bring war that will set the world aflame." Many believed this Hister was Hitler, and thus the Second Great War tore the soul of humanity. Cities turned to ashes, children became orphans, and the words of Nostradamus burned upon the walls of time. Yet his writings were not only of war, they carried the philosophy of downfall. He wrote, "When man forgets the divine in his pride, his empires will collapse under their own weight. Whether it be Rome or Britain or the powers of the modern world, the voice of Nostradamus echoes through all ages." Of the British Empire, he wrote, "Where the sun never sets, the shadow shall devour the sun." It was the era when England ruled the seas and lands, but soon the colonies began to break free. India rose, Africa awakened, and the crown of Britain began to lose its shine. Nostradamus was not only a prophet, he was a mirror of time. He said, "Time is a circle. Empires rise, they fall, and they return in new forms, and the circle still turns today." Some scholars believe he even saw the signs of a third great war, when East and West shall stand against each other, when the sky will be filled with iron birds breathing fire, when the waters shall turn to poison, and the earth shall weep, and then from that sorrow a new dawn will be born. But his words always remained hidden, wrapped in riddles, as if time itself guards its secrets. Perhaps Nostradamus knew that if mankind saw the full map of fate, the meaning of life would fade. So he wrote in symbols, in dreams, in veiled whispers. 5 centuries have passed, and his book, Les Prophéties, remains a mystery to the world. Some call him a prophet, some a poet, some a madman. but all agree that his words live beyond death. When any empire falls, when any war begins, or when the world reaches a turning point, people open the pages of Nostradamus and see that he had written it all before. Was he truly seeing the future, or had he simply understood that history repeats itself? Perhaps the truth lies between. Perhaps he knew that man sows his own destruction, and that every empire, no matter how mighty, returns to the same dust from which it rose. Nostradamus is gone, but his words are carved upon the breast of time, reminding us that history never ends. It moves in circles forever, without rest, from beginning to eternity.